Welcome back to the Outer Worlds. I've taken the liberty of breaking down the armor and weapons that I found unworthy of our attention, but I did keep this tactical shotgun on behalf of it doing N-ray damage. So if we find a workbench which will enable me to tinker on it, I can give it to Max. So we are at the very end of the cargo yards of Tartarus. And lo and behold, there is a workbench here. Sell all the junk to this vendor. And I'm not sure if this is worth it, so first of all, we can modify it by installing a new barrel to enable it to do more critical damage. I actually have that. That is very interesting. What happens if I... This is a tactical shotgun. Short range, high spread, does 35 times 8. This one does 63 times 12. So my rifle, if I modify this rifle to do N-ray damage, I think that's worth it. As for the barrel, I'm quite happy with the fun times barrel, and I'm also quite happy with the scope. So I guess we can continue to tinker. Whoa, 13,000. That is a lot. Not sure who's using this hammer. Oh, it's myself. Okay, let's tinker on the mace. Level 35. Tinkering on this. So expensive that it's not even worth it. Okay. Transition to the pit. So we are now in the pit, floor 1. Okay. Oops. Sorry, Parvati.
Everybody okay? Great.
Oh, this is substantial. There's a lot of things here to pick up. Let's just leave the retro rockets. What's retro rockets? Is it food? Old-fashioned gummy rockets in a variety of flavors. Right. Solitary confinement prisoner manifest. S. Haig. That sounds vaguely familiar. T. Williams and M. Black. Random selection. That's nice. The terminal. We can access the storage manifest. Note from your favorite warden. Please do not leave perishables in here. We marked this as a cold storage because we're starting to move pods in here. This is not an actual freezer. The next time I find a decomposing woolly cow box in here, I'm leaving it on the air conditioning intake for a week. Okay, so the storage manifest. In, dimethyl sulfoxide canisters. Out, straitjackets and riot battens and ballistics vests. In, hibernation chamber. Out, indoctrination pamphlets. In, forced pacification system refills, hibernation chamber, and material storage and shipping containers. Access architectural records. Structural changes needed to accommodate hibernation chambers in the LBRNTH facility. An analysis from engineers Rodfield, Crane, and Geist. Beginning with the requirement that every chamber receive a constant supply of, at minimum, 34 kilowatts, and that occupants of these chambers will be injected with a steady supply of UDL's patented Vite-O hibernation fluid, and this run-on sentence carries on for 12 pages before finally concluding, and thus, in order to maintain structural integrity throughout the area designated the pit, we recommend that chambers are installed in cylindrical fashion around a supporting structure dug into the crust of Tartarus to a maximum depth of... This conclusion extends for another 2 pages. Okay.
Here we go! Everyone all right?
For some reason, the weapon seems to be doing less damage with N-Ray. So we're supposed to take this elevator, it would seem. But not yet. We have more area to explore. More enemies to loot. And apparently a computer terminal to visit. I'm thinking we have to go around the other way. This place really is quite impressive. This makes me wonder if it's possible to do the game in compliance with the board. Might have to check that out later. Point of interest discovered. Vending machine. Here's the third password. Borst. And a person called Melody.
I'm working as fast as I can, all right? If y'all would quit bothering me, I'd get this done sooner.
Who are you?
Is that a joke? Y'all call me out to fix the FPS and now you're asking me who I am?
I don't know what an FPS is.
Forced pacification system. If the prisoners riot, we gas them. It went a little haywire after the last deployment, so here I am. Anyway, I need to finish this, so get out of here, will you?
No?
What?
Nothing. Okay. LBRNTH Forced Pacification System. By using UDL's patented Forced Pacification System, you agree to the following terms and conditions. 1. UDL is not responsible for harm caused by this FPS to any personnel nor to any non-personnel human resources. 2. This FPS is only to be used in emergency situations. 3. Proper utilization of the FPS will not confer punitive action on its user, even in the event of injuries. 4. As this system utilizes a powerful steam-based delivery mechanism, please alert your nearest mechanical engineer that the system's valves will need replacing after every use. Deliver pacification gas? Why not? Error. Pacification deployment requires an authorization password. Continue. We need another password, please. This go then. Okay, so there's a ladder down here. Now what I want is password piece number 4. But before we do that, this is so impressive that it definitely needs to be the thumbnail for the video. Okay, let's climb back up. So how many pieces of password is there, is my next question then. Let's take that elevator up there then. Can we by any chance get up there?
Let's go, troops. Stellar base counting on us. Let's go!
Max Van Noy. Why are you shooting at me? I mean, didn't we used to be friends? How much can you handle? Okay.
Here I go! Get past that armor! That didn't work!
I have a distinct feeling that one of my companions is down. Now, would someone like to explain to me why Miss Van Noy was hostile to us?
make quite a team, my friend.
Okay, let's get up here. See if we can snipe a few more. I know I saw someone over there. There's one.
Here we go.
Got him!
Can climb up into the cells. No reaction from anyone anywhere? Looking for the last password. Nothing of this seems to be of relevance. Okay, so there's one more somewhere around there. Maybe they were supposed to kill one another while we were just supposed to be standing around idly watching them do so. Seem to have looted all of these people. So how exactly are we supposed to get on over there? Not this way, it would seem. Aha. Well, this doesn't look like the safest route around here. So what's the deal then? I'd better repair our gear. And what's in here? We can't go there yet. Does this thing turn around or something? I mean, it doesn't appear to be possible for us to get over there. Oh. It was. Anything down here? There's a bin. I guess we'll have to take the elevator up then. I'm liking the music in here. There's the guard.
We got a fight on our hands.
There's another guard.
All right, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So, careful. Raren, fight!
Everyone all right?
Waste of company ammo.
Okay, so you were friendly to me, so I'm guessing that what happened is that I managed to shoot one of the iconoclasts accidentally.
Take him down.
Waste of company ammo. Serves you right. Put him down!
Time to collect 5,000.
Waste of company ammo.
Well, at least it's helpful that they keep killing things for us. Seem to be content with that arrangement. I sure am. Is the password we're looking for up here then? Restricted access. I'm guessing that means we can't open this door either. This is the elevator down again, I believe.
Never done this before, but that ain't gonna stop me now.
That sounds good, Grim. Excuse me. Thank you. Where does this elevator go up to then?
Everything in my life has been leading up to this point. I believe I am ready for this.
Whatever comes of this, I'm just real glad to know you all.
Oh, he didn't.
Captain, you have an uncanny talent for complicating my life. You've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. You've introduced uncertainty, and there is nothing I despise more than uncertainty.
You sure love talking. Do they pay you by the word?
Typical. Running your mouth in the middle of a crisis. It's almost as if you delight in chaos. I should have dealt with you a long time ago. You were always too dangerous to leave unchecked.
Oh, stop. You're making me blush.
I suppose I shouldn't be surprised by your impertinence. Leaving you alive was my greatest mistake, but it is a mistake I intend to correct. I have Dr. Wells in my custody. Once I've secured his cooperation, I can move forward with the program. I can repair the damage you've done. I can set things right.
You don't understand. Phineas is my friend. I'm not leaving without him.
Well, that's mostly correct. You're not leaving here at all. I wish you'd simply cooperated with me. You're the finest marksman in Halcyon. You could have been my gun.
I'm rescuing Phineas and I'm going through you if I have to.
I had a feeling you'd say that. This prison is equipped with an automechanical warden. I've had it programmed to eliminate you on sight and rinse your remains down a drain. And don't worry. I will inform Dr. Wells that you died heroically, or something.
Thank you. Guess sealed, yes. The big question is, though, should we have tried to gather the password? No, I don't think it's necessary. It's probably to put down the riots. Nope. Oh. It's RAM.
System.
See?
You got it, Captain!
I don't think that's working! May you find
Me?
peace in death!
Since that throws him around a little bit.
Pass that armor!
Oh, there are more of them.
Like that!
There is a lot more of them.
Good job, Cap! I see it now!
Take that thing down.
No!
Whoa. Well, this might not end well. As a matter of fact, I think I died. There surely must be a better way to do that. So skills. No, wait, lockpick is what I'm looking for. I don't think we have enough lockpick. We have 99. So if I eat something that gives me mind attribute... This... should be able to lockpick this door. And that gives us access to this, which we also need more hacking skill, but I think I saved some armor for that. Yes, I did. Hack, designate Ram as a hostile intruder. That definitely worked better in my advantage. So the question is, do they have endless limit supplies of those annoying robots? Or was that it?
Resetting threat level.
Inways are ineffective! I've had quite enough of you!
Stagger and cripple?
Woo! We made it! Woohoo!
Well, that helped. Save. Hibernation chamber key. Sealed. Sealed. Okay, so I'm guessing that that's where the additional bots came from the last time then. Now we're going into the finer suites of the prison, I take it?
Why won't you just die?
It's one way of ending it, I suppose.
Get me out of here!
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You did the right thing. Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved, and long overdue. And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough.
You know I wouldn't let anything happen to you, Phineas.
I know, my friend, I know. And now it's finally over. The board's finished. It's only a matter of time before the entire system slips from their grasp. You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated.
I don't like the sound of that at all.
Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
Earth is only an idea to us. But that idea is the bedrock the colony is built upon. If people were to find out it's gone dark, the shock could be too much to bear.
I don't want to imagine what'll happen once news gets out. Let's just keep this between us for now.
You mean we're all alone out here? Really alone?
I'm afraid so, Miss Holcomb. Halcyon is the only home we have left. Returning to Earth is no longer an option. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own.
We have a lot of work ahead of us. We'd best get started.
Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds, and then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us?
You can count on me. I'll help you revive the other colonists.
When I revived you, I thought you were going to help me save this colony. I was wrong. I had our roles reversed, you see. You're the one who's going to save us all. I'm just the one who set you on your path. You're the best thing to ever happen to Halcyon. If you want to take it upon yourself to lead this colony, you have my support. We're not a colony any longer, are we? Our last connection to Earth has been severed, and so we have been set free. Our future is uncertain, and no one knows what tomorrow holds. Exciting, isn't it?
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast's manpower, Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause. MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen through the cracks. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took sublight salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the sublight family together. The collapse of Edgewater left its workers bereft of any purpose in life. Most of them made their way to Adelaide McDevitt's camp, hoping to ingratiate themselves into her favor. Adelaide accepted only a few to her community. The rest were turned away and likely died of starvation. Nevertheless, Adelaide's camp grew into a well-established town. Adelaide McDevitt refused to cooperate with the ongoing effort to save Halcyon from collapse. A sympathetic deserter stole a copy of her research and delivered it to the Hope's scientists. It is unclear how useful Adelaide's research was. An optimistic estimate suggests her work may have bought Halcyon another few years of survival. Adelaide would never know. She died that winter. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the Groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Your influence shifted Ellie's perspective. She finally admitted, albeit grudgingly, that she just might need other people. Sometimes. With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own. She hired a small crew and flew supply missions to communities on the fringe. Some of them were even legal. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace. Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed. The stories of her adventures spread across the colony, and Parvati soon found herself the center of attention. Having served as the engineer of a renowned spacecraft, tramp freighters and wildcat miners sought her out by name, and in no time, she was a fixture in the Groundbreaker's mechanical ecosystem. She and Junlei were never far apart. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? Long after Wells passed away, you carried on his work with more energy, determination, and brilliance than he could ever muster. The years that followed were hard, but Halcyon survived by the efforts of the Hope's most promising colonists, the greatest of which was you. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
So there we go. Thank you all so very much for joining me in this playthrough of the Outer Worlds. And I guess we should also thank Obsidian Entertainment for their rather brilliant story writing. If there's any DLCs coming around, do you expect more series on the game? I'm probably going to play the game and see if there are different endings, but I'll leave it up to yourself to experience your own endings of the game. So again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you all around.